Gately, and this is Gately Audio, and I have this enclosure here that I built a few days ago, and we wrapped it up with carpet yesterday morning. I posted a quick video of it on my Instagram, and that fed to my Facebook, and after that I've got some messages in my inboxes, and people asking about how this seamless carpet happened. I didn't realize that it was not a trick that most of us knew. So I learned this trick from my friend Chris Sanders about 14 years ago when he was working here at the shop. Chris is a badass fabricator. I learned lots of stuff from him, and this is one of my favorite tricks. And so we're stretching the stretchy backless carpet is what this is called. You get it from your local upholstery supply shop. And what Chris did is he threw a big piece of carpet over a big workbench. He plopped the sub box down on top of it. He screwed the box down to it. He climbed on top of it, and he was pulling and stretching, and sweat was flying, and it was hysterical at first. We didn't know what the hell he was doing. Next thing we knew, he had stretched the carpet all the way around the box and made this big, beautiful, seamless enclosure. It looked fabulous. We were super happy, and I learned a cool trick. I've done it about a half a dozen times or so since then. This particular box fit that use better than any box I've ever had the experience of it working. The customer requested that the enclosure sit gently in his back seat of his car and be able to be easily taken out of the back seat and thrown into the trunk of the car when he has other people in the car with him. And we wanted it to be durable and elegant, and he also wanted it to be as lightweight as it could reasonably be. So the enclosure is built with 1/2-inch Baltic birch plywood. There's a little bit of 3/4 inch in the assembly. It helped with adjusting the port area, and it helped in the assembly so that all my staples could land in an area where my router bit wouldn't hit it, because I routed the corners with a 1-inch radius router bit that I got from 12-volt tools. So after that, I sanded it a little bit and got set up to stretch the carpet, and we'll head over here and I'll show you guys how I did it on the other box that we have to do. Okay, so what we have here is a very similar enclosure as the one that you saw the videos of earlier that's sitting over on the router bench. We were building 2 of them at once. A lot of times when you're building something that's relatively complicated and doesn't take a lot of material, expensive materials, I like to build 2 of them at once for the customer, and then I give the customer the better one of the 2, and the second one kind of gets to hang out with me, and you know, some of my friends or family get a super bro deal on a really cool box that has a couple flaws. My buddy JD is already interested in this one, as we spoke about online. So this one, we made a mistake in the assembly, and so I ended up having to router this shape into it here. So the very subtle difference in the 2 enclosures, that the lip around the outside will be a lot smaller. Hopefully I'm able to get it to look perfect. So the trick here is basically take a piece of carpet that is large enough to reach. I make sure that it'll just reach, because I'm gonna stretch the hell out of this. I mean, sweat will be flying, I'll be working hard, I might be swearing and cursing at it, and I'll be stapling it and pulling more staples and stapling it again, on and on and on, for probably half an hour to an hour. About how long it'll take. The video won't be that long. We'll do a time lapse and we'll edit the crap out of it, and it'll look like it took me 5 minutes. So we start there, make sure that it fits correctly, and then we will spray a bunch of contact cement adhesive. We'll give it plenty of time to tack up and pretty much dry, and then I'll start the tugging, pulling process. Okay, so real quick, the adhesive that I'm using is Weldwood contact cement. We're here in California, so the product we use isn't quite as strong as what you get in the other states, but it seems to work fine. There was a few years where the California stuff was pretty crappy, but I think they've refined the material, and it works quite well again. I spray it out of the super cheapy Harbor Freight spray gun. I know a lot of people are pretty negative about these things, but you kind of get lucky and get a good one. So if you go and you get one and it doesn't work very good, take it back, get another one, try it again, And you'll find one. This one's been working really well for us for like 4 years, and I put a lot of miles on this stuff. So anyway, keep it full, and that keeps it from making a mess inside of it and being a problem. So I just keep it nice and full. If I use quite a bit of it, I top it back off before I put it away. Coffee is so important for this part of the process. So what I have here is just a simple piece of wood. This is a piece that I used when I did the first box yesterday. All I'm doing is taking it and I'm sliding it right under the center of the carpet, right where the center of the back of the enclosure is going to sit once this contact cement is done drying completely. I'll place the box onto there, and then I'll stretch my carpet out as best I can by hand, and then I'll climb up on top of it and start pulling and tugging. And once I get the carpet most of the way stretched, I'll pick it back up, I'll pull that piece back out from under it, and then I'll continue just on top of the cardboard to stretch the carpet. So an important piece of this is to roll it back on itself a bit and hold it pretty tight. And if you can pull with both hands so you have a wider distribution of pressure, that's better, so you don't have big tug marks. If you pull on it, you get funky stuff like this when you're up here. It's kind of a bummer. Now, if you're having trouble with this part of the process because it hurts your little fingers or you're not strong enough to pull on it, you should start training jiu-jitsu because it helps your grip strength and it makes you stronger and it makes you a badass. Just saying. So at one point in the past on an enclosure kind of like this, I thought it was a good idea to trim my carpet back so that it was more manageable, but I was wrong, and that's not a good idea. Don't do that. Leave it nice and long. Roll it up on itself like I described earlier, because this is like a really awesome handle, and it's easier on your hands, and you can make a more even pull on the material, so you don't get, because if you pull it really hard and you don't have a lot of tension against you, you can pull it a bit thin, kind of cause thin spots where you can see through the carpet a little bit. I'm doing here. So this is the easiest part to screw the whole thing up. If you cut back too far, you you mess up your edge right here, then the whole thing will want to peel off and be sad. I don't like to be sad. So even though it's the end and you're tired and your back hurts and your fingers hurt and all that stuff, now is a really good time to stay focused, be relentless. I like to remind myself to go about half as fast as I think I can go. That way, I'm much less likely to screw things up. The most important thing about difficult, tedious work like this is to not take breaks, to just stay working steady and smoothly rather than trying to kill yourself all at once to do it and then feel like you need to stop and sit, check in with your Facebook or your Instagram, or half of these guys need to take breaks for a half an hour to argue with their girlfriends online or some silly ass shit like that. So it's hard work. You're gonna be pulling, you're gonna be stretching. If you got some wimpy little fingers, your knuckles are gonna hurt. You're gonna get a little sweaty. It's good for you. It makes you stronger. And it looks really cool. And make sure you charge your customers appropriately for it. Probably about 45 minutes of work. Thankfully the materials are super inexpensive for this. And if you throw away some carpet, who cares, right? Have fun, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my page. Check out my Instagram. We should be posting more videos in the near future. Have fun. Build stuff.